Trust me when I say this. I know where the girls are coming from when they say to decenter men, and that men f corpses, and that you shouldn't put any value into what men think of you or how they treat you because they're dog shit most of the time. Okay? I get that and I understand it. The problem I have is, as a straight heterosexual woman who's attracted to straight heterosexual men and would like to experience a romantic heterosexual relationship with a man, but has never had the opportunity to do so, it makes it hard to really accomplish that.
There is a war between males and females. I don't know who started it, but it's happening and it's making everyone miserable. This woman here, this poor lady, just like millions of other women in the same situation as her, has been lied to by people she looks up to. The only people benefiting from this war against males, war against females, are influencers. That's literally it. They are the winners in this situation. They are manipulating vulnerable women, just like the girl you're seeing in this video, into being self-centered, completely detached from any kind of real human connection, to only look inward, to only consider their own feelings, focusing on individualism and self-care, which sounds great, right? Everyone wants to be in a position where they love themselves, where they focus on, growing themselves. That's fine. But it seems like this movement is creating such a divide between the sexes that no one's getting along anymore. It's as if you have to absolve yourself of any kind of interaction between the sexes. It's almost like a playground. Like, oh, you're a girl. I don't want to go near you. You're smelly. Vice versa for boys. We're meant to come together, man. Like, this is crazy.
On top of that, I am force-fed content on and offline on a daily basis, seeing women who are truly valued and treated well by the men in their lives.
These content creators will not be there for you. They're literally doing this just because they're obsessed with TikTok. They don't care about you as a person. Where are these guys to pick you up when you're at your lowest? They're nowhere to be found. It's really painful to watch this video because clearly this woman is a kind-hearted person. It doesn't sound like she's horrible or she wishes ill on anyone, but she's been manipulated by people who only care about themselves.
And that makes me physically ill some of the time. Like, having content shoved down my throat of how some women are treated by the men in their lives and how valued they actually are, and knowing that no man in my life has ever actually liked me, like, at all, and has never valued me literally at all. It kind of does something to the psyche and your self-worth and your self-esteem, no matter how much self-confidence you have. I'm
going to say it time and time again, you've been sold a lie. You've been told to be confident in yourself, but I tell you what, confidence is not everything. You can go to a martial arts school, right, that you might think is legit, and you'll learn everything this supposed sensei teaches you. There's a term for this kind of martial art, it's called bullshido. You go into this school, you learn a few things, you get given a belt, might even get given a black belt, and you walk out thinking, I can fight, I can handle myself. Some guy approaches you in the street, that full sense of confidence is just going to get you into trouble. You're going to get hurt. And it's no different here in this woman's situation. She's been sold a lie.
And my self-confidence and my journey with that has been a journey. And I'm the most confident I've ever been in my life. So I don't really put up or accept men who treat me like dog shit anymore. But then that just leaves me having no interactions with men at all. I don't think people really understand it unless they've been in this exact position themselves. And also the fact that my connection has to come from friends and family. Whereas those friends and family already have partners, and then they get their connection from them.
Yeah, ask yourself this. Are they consuming the same bullshit garbage as you? Probably not.
And then I get the leftovers. And that feels really fucking good also. Literally no amount of self-love will replace what a romantic relationship can do for people. That's an inconvenient, sad truth that I feel like no one on this app really wants to accept. They just want to shove self-love down your fucking throat and individualism down your throat until you are so sick and tired of it that you come on this app, like I'm doing right now, and ranting about it. I just would love for a man to see me as the person that I really am, rather than what I can provide for him. Because I realize that's why a lot of women are in romantic relationships and partnerships with men, is that they have this currency that they can provide for men, this social status. And because I'm not skinny, I can't...
Okay, before we get into the whole skinny thing, she's talking about some kind of social status as a currency. That's another lie you've been sold right there. We, as men, do not care about that sort of thing. We don't care about what social currency you bring to the table.
Give that to them. So they don't take the time to see me as a real person and to get to know me as a real person. If I were to lose 150 pounds, then they would actually get to see me as a real person.
You're not wrong. I hate to say it, but you're not wrong.
And they would get to know me as the person. But guess what? I'd be still the same person.
You wouldn't be. I'm sorry to say that, but it takes a very disciplined mind to stay active, to control their eating habits and keep themselves healthy, you know. And I don't think this is something that has been drilled into us from, you know, early childhood. I think it must be evolutionary, because, you know, if you're going to procreate, you probably don't want to procreate with someone who is susceptible to a range of health conditions, if you know what I mean. That's not to say you're not a lovely person, I'm sure you are, but, you know, you won't be the same person if you focused on your health.
I'm still me. I wouldn't fucking change. Only my body would. But then automatically that gives them value. That gives them social currency. Even though I didn't change.
I think the social currency she's referring to here is bragging rights, the ability to show off your partner. Check out my hot girlfriend over here, etc., etc. To be honest, yeah, maybe a little bit actually. There might be a bit of that.
In here, I didn't change. Just my body did. And so many women do that. And they go through that just so that they are valued. I
need to just interject one more time here. I was a fat kid. Up until the age of 14, I played games all the time. I ate like shit. I remember one time I had like 10 quid. You know, I wasn't rich. My mum gave me £10 and I went straight to McDonald's and I literally said to the woman behind the counter, give me as many McChicken sandwiches as you can give me with this £10 note. And she gave me like 3 or something. And I did not care about myself. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror because every time I did, I saw a fat belly there and I hated it. And because of this, like a whole range of cascading effects just brought me down into this dark, horrible place of self-hatred. And then I started skateboarding. And within, I don't know, 6 months or something. Remember, I did not look at myself in the mirror ever. But after about 6 months of skateboarding every single day in the baking hot sun, I glanced at myself in the mirror and saw a six-pack. I was like, what? Who is this? You know, I just stood there and stared at my body and I completely felt like a changed person. I felt like I could go outside, you know, with my top off and not feel embarrassed. It was very hot outside at the time. And from that point onwards, you know, it really did change the way I think. You know, I paid more attention to what went into my body as well as what came out of it. Me as a fat person, the way I thought back then is completely different to the way I am now.
And how fucking sad is that? How fucking sad is that? But that's just how the world is. That's just, you know, you gotta play the game. Okay.
You know, if you're watching this video, chances are you and I are quite similar. Chances are you look at this woman and feel the same way I do. You feel sad, you feel like she's been cheated. You can imagine the dark place that she is in, and it's not nice. And you would probably agree when I say, ladies, we don't hate you. I don't know where you got the idea of us hating you, but you're completely and utterly wrong. The tiny group of hate-driven men do not represent us and how we feel towards you.
I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
In fact, I do know where this hatred comes from. I'm gonna go find that TikTok video actually.
I want the girls to know how genuinely good it feels to not have a man as the center of your life. It truly feels amazing to list out activities and hobbies and things that you love to do, and a man is not included in none of them. It feels so good to be your own individual, your own unique person without a man. And even if you do have a man, it feels so good to still be so connected and close to your soul that you are still your own unique individual with or without him. We don't speak.
I'm just going to stop that there. To the redhead in the original video, answer me this. When you're feeling low, where is this TikTok woman going to be? I tell you where she's not going to be. She's not going to be by your side. She's not going to fill that void that she's created in your life. And hang on, let's just play that one bit back again.
And even if you do have a man, it feels so good to still be so connected and close to your soul that you are still your own unique individual with or without him. We don't speak.
No one is saying don't be connected to your self or soul or whatever it is she said. Like, she's literally making all of this up. She's making this up. No one is saying don't be yourself. In fact, men actively want to be alone in a relationship. You know, we're not clowns, we're not like entertainers. I don't know, man. Like, I want to wrap this up because this is honestly just such a stupid. Let's have a look at some of the comments that this video has. Okay, one TikTok user says, it's the definition of peace. This is so real, so real. I finally understand why I was always so tired. I've made myself a priority and I feel mentally healthy and clear. That has over 3,000 likes. I've started cutting off friends who prioritize their boyfriends over me. Fair enough. My last friend admitted that she only truly loved/cared about her boyfriend. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately that's just what happens, right? When people pair up. Freed up about 30% of my brain space, learned so much about myself. Lemafau. Wait till you all go on a solo trip, it feels so good. Man, these are just temporary gains. These are just, oh man, it's so frustrating. You know, I'm just gonna wrap up and say this. As Rodney King once said,
I just want to say, you know, can we all get along? Can we get along? Can we stop making it horrible for the older people and the kids?